Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of It's All About the Fuzz, alongside my co-captain, as always, Karen LaPreziosa. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Nothing. Wrapping up summer and looking forward to Desert Fest in New
That's
York
right. You
City.
got that coming up. Well, and what's the date on that again?
The 16th, the 14th through the 16th of September.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know if you looked at the extended forecast, but we're going to experience temperatures in the upper 80s and 90s again, like in a week and a half or 2 weeks. So right in time for Desert Fest in New York City, right?
Yes, in Maspeth. Cool. I don't have to put my kayak away just yet.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I was going to close my pool, but then I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I've actually been in more this week than I have in like 3 weeks. So I'm like,
great.
on that forecast, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave the cover off for now and keep trying to swim a little bit. So even if it's just a couple minutes a day, whatever, it's an exercise. So anyway, we've got a fun show for you here planned today. We've decided to do another. We'll take after today's episode. We'll take a break from the label thing for a little bit. But we're visiting another record label that specializes in fuzzy music, and that label is from Italy called Heavy Psych Sounds. They've been around since 2007. So quite a long time, over 15 years. I'll read you a little blurb about them. Heavy Psych Sounds Records and Booking is a record label and booking agency specializing in heavy psych, stoner, retro rock, vintage rock, proto-punk, sludge, acid rock, doom, space rock, 70s rock, garage psych, and fuzz blues. I think
That's all for me.
that covers everything we talk about on the show, I think, right? Yeah. And if you go to their website and you look at like all the bands that they've worked with, it's ridiculously long. There's so many great bands and some really cool unknown bands, which hopefully today we'll introduce folks to some of those unknown bands that we have been listening to and are going to talk about today. So we've each picked 5 bands or artists from the label, and we're going to talk a little bit about each one and why you guys should maybe go check some of these bands out. In some instances, these bands might be new to us, or maybe we've been listening to them for a little while. We love discovering new stuff too, so that's why doing something like this is kind of cool. So I'll have Karen kick us off with her first band that we're going to talk about today from Heavy Psych Sounds.
This is number 5. I'm going to go to 1. This is a local band to the Hudson Valley, and it's Geezer. Another trio from Heavy Psych Sounds is loaded with 3 pieces. I love it. Another trio. They're from Kingston. They definitely have their spacey moments.
Keep talking. I'm going to see if I can grab the CD because I have them.
Okay,
so I'll be
but
back.
but they kind of remind me of a slowed down, fuzzy ZZ Top.
Yes.
Lots of boogie, lots of grooves. We're talking about, yes, love that album cover. Look at what is the name of that one?
So this one is Groovy, and this one is Stone Blues Machine, which rules totally.
Yes, and that's the latest one.
This is from 2022. Yes.
Yeah, Groovy is so cool. I mean, they're so in the 70s. Like even that album cover is a black light poster of a van trucking through like space with mushrooms on the field on the side. So good. I love it. And yeah, it's very boogie with just this little slow down ZZ Top, and I really like them live. To me, another band that's really great live. Unfortunately, they've played here a few times, and I've seen them at St. Vitus a couple times too. So yeah, I excuse me here. They're just good. They're really, really good. I like that, like a slowed down boogie, ZZ Top, the way he sings, the way they look even. But we're not talking about like 80s ZZ Top. Keep that in mind.
No, like 70s. Yeah, it's like, or even like kind of some of the stuff that ZZ Top has done over the last like decade or two.
Yeah.
It's just really good power trio, psychedelic, bluesy space rock, doom, stoner, I don't know, whatever. It's like, but yeah. And the guitar player, the singer guy with the big long beard, he's a badass. He's a lefty guitar player.
Yeah.
He plays big heavy riffs and screaming solos, and their music is just, it's got a 70s feel, but it's still modern. But yeah, I think like if you can imagine ZZ Top going full stoner or space rock, that's kind of Geezer. And
yeah. And they have that boogie like ZZ Top
Yeah,
did.
they do.
And what's really cool about them, and I think you're going to find with most of these bands, is that they absolutely have that retro sound,
Yep.
but they don't sound dated. I don't
No,
know, for me, maybe
no.
it's just a classic, blues based rock and roll that, just never gets old, but it does definitely have throwback vibes, but they don't sound dated. They don't sound, they sound modern
Yeah,
in a
that's a
way.
good choice. Yeah, they're good. I caught them live once. They played at one of Steve Keeler's things about a year ago,
They're
and
doing it
it's like
again.
a 95-degree heat outdoors at a brewery in Middletown, New York, and it was sweltering.
I know.
They were laying down the riffs, and it was very, very cool. It was a really good show.
Mhm.
Really good show.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're off to a good start. My first choice, mine I guess aren't in any real order. My first choice is a band from Italy, so Italian label band from Italy. The band is called 1782.
Nice.
Another power trio band, and these guys are. Hold on, I've got to do this the right way here. These guys are doom. And they tell you right here, right? This is their latest one. This is and in fact, for those of you watching, we did a review of this today on the channel. But Clamor Luciferi is their latest one. From the Graveyard is their second one, and then they have a self-titled release from 2019. From the Graveyard came out in 2021, and Clamor Luciferi came out this year.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, and the name of the band, I guess, is tied to the 1782 witch trials, right? These guys are pretty evil sounding. If you like this kind of occult stuff and
Got that occult rock. Yeah, I dig
yeah,
it.
this is going to be right up your alley. Massive, massive, slow doom riffs, heavily reverbed vocals. Generally speaking, the tone is dark and evil. There's lots of atmosphere. Occasionally, you get some like real creepy kind of organ sounds.
Yes.
The debut album is really raw. I mean, really raw, but they
Mhm.
keep a similar vibe throughout all their albums. It literally sounds like this shit was recorded in like a basement in like 1974 or something like that.
Do you think that hurts them, or is it?
Maybe for some people, but I think
Mhm.
there's a lot of people who like really raw, primal sounding doom stuff that's got a real
Mhm.
evil and creepy vibe. I mean, this
Yeah.
stuff is not for the faint of heart. The
Right.
vocals are, you wouldn't say that he's a good singer or a great singer, but the music, I mean, the singing fits the music so well. It's generally just evil, creepy, slow, pulverizing doom. And I really like it. It's the production. I literally, I think I said on my review today that these songs and these albums sound like someone like lifted a coffin lid that was in a grave, and all of a sudden this music comes wafting out. It sounds like it's coming up from the bowels of the earth. It's very cool stuff, but you got to be into this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to check them out, here's a couple songs you should probably look out for. Succubus from the new album is just so heavy, slow and
Mm.
menacing. Black Rights is another really good one. And from their second album, a song called Bloodline really, really kicks ass. But, if you like your doom, slow, heavy, and evil as fuck, no further than 1782. So, and I just, I mean, if you just look at the album covers and the artwork, it's just, I mean, this is just, if Ryan Scow is not listening to this band, he should be, because I think this is like right up his alley.
I wonder, where he is today. It would be very fitting.
Exactly right. Over there right now. So yeah, cool. So that's my first pick, 1782. So back to you.
All right. Well, we're speaking about heavy doom. I'm touching upon Bandzilla.
Ooh.
Okay. This is a band for me. You really need to see them live. I think then you'll really get the force of Bandzilla. I mean, they are so heavy. They are like a huge rock just put on your chest. I can't breathe. I don't know. They're just so heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Listening to them and revisiting all their records, it was good, but after a while, I have to say the vocals do kind of wear on me. That's why they're really a live band. They're just so, but they are seriously super fuzzy stoner doom, some of the heaviest stoner doom out there. The whole band is dedicated to smoking weed. every album, every song has, I mean, from their first album, Gateway, okay, the gateway drug, to their, now they've graduated to doing dabs, and their new album on Heavy Psych Sounds called Dab City. Yes. I mean,
just listen to some of these song titles: Free the Weed, The Weed Eater, Earth Bong Smoked, Mags Bags, Gummies, Dab City, King of Weed, Cannon Bong, Hippie Stick, American Pot, of course. Yeah.
I know.
These are hilarious. They're hilarious, actually. But yeah, you're right, man. It's so heavy. Thankfully, the one good thing, because I agree with you, the vocals are
sounds like someone's being throttled.
Yeah, they're almost like black metal vocals in like super slow, crushingly heavy doom. But thankfully, there's not a ton of singing on their albums. Like they use the vocals sparingly, but man, long songs with just like these dirges that just go on and feedback and fuzz, and it's just like mountainously heavy.
And I'm there for that, seriously. And you're right about the vocals, and they're not really so upfront. They are kind of pushed back a little bit, but it does sound like the guy's being like strangled. Like,
yeah. Yeah, they're like kind of sludgy black metal-y style vocals. They're just bizarre, and and I guess that's what makes them unique, right? Because you would never expect that kind of vocal style in music like this ever. I've never heard any of the band do it quite like that.
No, and they just look like three guys you see hanging out at the gas station or something like that. You know what I mean? Like or he just crawled out from underneath his car. It's kind of cool. I really like that. And I kind of think of them like a thunderstorm, right? Just thinking you're the most loudest, raucous thunderstorm, and then all of a sudden, like a herd of like draft horses come running through, and you get like the thunderous footsteps. It's so fucking heavy. Oh, excuse me. It's so heavy. I think, what are my favorite tracks? I like Green Thumb off of their first album. These aren't heavy. This isn't a Heavy Psych Sounds release, but we're talking about Bandzilla. Green Thumb, I really like a lot. And a Marijuana Con off. That's a self-title. Oh, that's the title track of that album, a Marijuana Con. So, or is it called a Marijuana Kin? That's it. But yeah, they're just great. And another band that I like, to really get the essence of Bandzilla, you got to see them live. It's just like cement dropping on you. Oh, you got to go.
So I've never heard any of their albums other than the two most recent. Is the old stuff just as good, or is it a little different?
Yeah, it is. Cool. I know I should have concentrated on those two because we are doing this label, but I don't know. Those are my favorite tracks from them. But
okay, well, that's fine. But yeah, but the two new ones are really good. I enjoy those quite a bit. That's my first. I actually decided to investigate them based on you really talking highly about them. So yeah, I like them. It's good stuff. It's heavy though. Man, it's heavy.
Yeah,
heavy. All right. Speaking of heavy, my next choice from the label. I mean, it doesn't get any heavier than the name of this band. The band is called Acid Mammoth.
Oh yeah.
From Greece, a Greek band, right? So
yes,
they're a 4-piece doom stoner. They put out a self-titled debut in 2017, which I don't have, but I have Under Acid Hoof, which came out in 2020, and then Caravan came out in 2021. Now, anytime you put a woolly mammoth on the cover, or part of the name is mammoth, it's going to be heavy, right?
And acid, yeah.
Acid Mammoth, right? I mean, how some of the names of these bands are just like out of control. And ironically enough, these guys tour a lot in Europe with 1782, which is the band I just talked about before. So what's their music like? I mean, again, loads of big riffs across these albums. But the vocals are really different. They're more kind of like higher pitched, right? They're clean, higher pitched. To me, they remind me of Tobias from Ghost. That might sound a little weird to some, really heavy, slow doom music with kind of like that vocal style.
Yeah, I agree. And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad. It makes it unique sounding, right? And kind of just like Bandzilla and just like 1782, the vocals aren't the focus of these albums. So while there is singing, it's not nonstop singing. They more focus on long instrumental passages, a lot of fuzzy riffs and screaming like space rock solos. some songs to check out. Psychedelic Wasteland from this album is excellent. The title track Caravan is excellent, and Tree of Woe, which is on this album, Under Acid Roof, are really good. 3 really massive, long, epic songs. I would check them out. Really heavy stuff. A good amount of psych in these, though, as well. It's not just straight out doom stoner stuff. There's a lot of psychedelic elements, especially like the guitar solos and the long instrumental passages and stuff like that. But yeah, I would highly recommend this. These both albums are really, really good. I like the debut too, but to my knowledge, it's not available on physical, so you can only either stream it or buy a digital copy. But yeah, if you want physical, these 2 are available. So yeah, Acid Mammoth, really good stuff.
I like that album art too.
Yeah, it's awesome. Those are one of the first things I bought from the label, actually, because I love like elephants and woolly mammoth. I was like, oh, you can't go wrong. Acid Mammoth, that sounds great. Let me try it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3, another trio, although they did start out as 4-piece, they whittled it down to 3. Hippie Death Cult. I really like them. I hear lots of different subgenres in their music. I hear traditional metal, a lot of traditional metal, doom, psych, hard rock. It's really cool. A little bit of space, not too much, but I really like it a lot. It's a good mix as far as I'm concerned. Their earlier albums, they used to trade off vocals. What was their guitarist's name? I have it written down here. Jackson, I forget his last name, but anyway, they used to trade vocals off with him and Laura Phillips, who is the bass player, and it was cool. You know, he would do a couple songs, she would do them, and now she's taken over the vocals. They have a new album coming out in October, which is not available. They have a single available on Spotify. I'm sure you can buy it on like iTunes or something like that, called Arise, and it's really good. The new album's called Helichrysum or something. I don't know. Why do you make me pronounce this stuff? Laura's vocals are feminine, but they're deeper. And she really is. I really enjoy them. That she soars at certain points, and they sound like on their second album or first albums. There's a song called Sanctimonious. It sounds like a mix of trippy psych and OG Black Sabbath, like the first album, you know, that bluesy kind of feel. Yeah. And I love that. And, you know, you throw in like that traditional metal and that bluesy and a little bit of trippy psych to it. I'm all about it. And, you know, her vocals are really cool. And I think that makes it a little bit more distinctive. Again, they've got a very retro sound, but it doesn't sound stale or dated to me. I don't know if that's because I'm stuck in some kind of decade, or I don't know. I just really like it. And it doesn't sound that way to me. So yeah, I recommend it. Circle of Days is their second LP. Standout track or Circle of Days. That's a good one. And they had a single, what was it called? The single Tree Hugger. It's not on a record. I really like that one a lot. So check that one out if you can. So yeah.
Yeah, they got, I mean, I'm a sucker for bands that utilize 2 or more different vocalists in a band. I always love that. Not that I dislike bands who have a signature singer and, you know,
right.
Obviously, but when a band can utilize like 2 or more of their members who have good voices, I think that's really good. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk about in a second another band on this label that has a female singer, right? And that just sometimes that makes all the difference in the world and sets them apart. So yeah.
She kind of sounds a little spooky, you know. And
nothing wrong with that.
They get like a Tree Hugger. Actually, that is on one of their albums. I think that's on their first one. But they like it starts slow and then it picks up speed and then it's just boogie. It's really good. I really like it.
Cool. Yeah, I have not experienced them yet, so I will have to do that. Well, it sounds like they got a new album coming out. So
yes, October.
I'll have to check that one out. So cool. All right, so I mentioned that my next choice is going to be a band with a female singer. We're going to go to Birmingham, over in England, home of Black Sabbath, for a 4-piece band with a stunning female singer named Sian Greenaway. The album is Aluna.
Oh, wow.
So kind of like your last pick.
I haven't heard them.
Oh, this is really good. They're more in the kind of like stoner metal, hard rock, blues rock style than doom. There is a little doom on these albums, but it's more like kind of like traditional metal, traditional doom, and blues rock. So it's very kind of early 70s sounding. They have 6 full-length albums and EPs. So they got a lot of stuff. Originally they were on Catacomb Records. They've been on Napalm Records. They've been on Svart Records, and now they're on Heavy Psych Sounds for 2019's Violet Hour, which is this one right here. Very cool album cover.
Nice
and
artwork.
2020. Oh yeah, love the artwork on this. Terrific. And then Strange Machine, which came out in 2022 last year. I would say, Karen, if you like Lucifer,
I do.
Chances are you will love this band.
And guess who's going on tour?
Right.
Lucifer and Coven.
And Heavy Moods, who are terrific.
Early Moods, yes.
Early
I
Moods,
saw them with High on Fire, and they were great.
Early Moods are excellent. That's a great triple bill. Yeah, it's New York City in November. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go to that. So but yeah, if you like Lucifer, you'll probably love this band. There's a very strong, like kind of late 60s, early 70s vibe, especially to their most recent album, this one right here. Although I'd say they're a little bit heavier than Lucifer, right? Not much. Her vocals are so good. If you really want to hear her at her best, check out Over the Hills. The title track to Strange Machine is great. And then the really moody song, which is called Lake of Fire. And the way these guys do it, this is how you blend like big, thunderous, heavy riffs and just absolutely soaring female vocals. This is how it's done. She's amazing, really good singer. I've watched some live clips on YouTube of her. She's just enchanting to watch. And then, the riffs and the drumming just completely kick your ass. And, the songs are really memorable too, which is what it's all about. I could see, out of all my picks here, I could see this band as one that could catch on with a larger audience. Because her vocals are amazing, and the music is just a little bit more accessible. So yeah, Aluna, Strange Machine, and Violet Hour, they're 2 most recent, but they have a whole bunch that came out before this. But check them out. Really, really good.
I definitely will.
Yeah, you'll like it.
I'm a big proponent of women in metal. I just love to see it.
Why not?
And this genre, or these genres, are very, very female friendly, but that's not the only reason why I like it. I mean, it's a big bonus as far as I'm concerned, but I mean, I love this music regardless, so I'm really happy to see it. All right, we're moving right along here. Nebula. Number 2, Nebula. I love this band. It was a pleasure getting reacquainted with Nebula and like really going back into their catalog. They've got a ton of records, all on Heavy Psych Sound. There's a lot of desert in them, especially on 2019's Charged. And that means, they're faster and have that kind of like snotty. Yeah, that's the one. The singer kind of reminds me of like, in that Iggy Pop kind of vein, but
yes, he does.
I like that. That is also, desert reminds me of what they call punk and roll, only it's not as fast and definitely fuzzier, but it's the same attitude. It's just rock and roll. But Nebula to me is more than that. I'm really loving their latest release. What is it called? Something from the Mothership.
Yeah, I got it here. This one, is it Transmission from Mothership Earth? Yeah, this one.
Yes. It's
what's really interesting about this band, because again, thanks to Craig Kaminsky, I just started really listening to these guys, because you got a couple guys from Fu Manchu in this band, and while there are some similarities, I mean, I really like your kind of like punk and roll. To me, these guys take space rock and kind of punk and roll and stoner and kind of fuse and desert rock and fuse it all together, and they don't really sound like Fu Manchu much at all, other than in spots. I think the energy is similar. But these guys do all sorts of cool, trippy things, and there's definitely a punk vibe going on there. But some of the stuff is heavy, like really.
Yeah, it's super heavy, and then it gets really groovy too. And I love the appearance of that, like Billy Preston organ every once in a while, like just like they do an organ. So it's just real gentle, It's not overpower. I really like it. I think it totally complements everything else that they're doing. And Pete, you know me. I'm not about like soloing or shredders, but Nebula, there's a lot of soloing and I like it. I'm there for it. I really love it. And this past week, this band and my number one band, I just listened to constantly and I loved it. I loved getting back to know them and more familiar with them because, you know, in a lot of ways, Nebula is a band that kind of take for granted. Oh, I've heard them so many times that it's been a minute and I really, really like it. I think a great song is Smoking Woman to pick up from Nebula. Nebula is all fuzz, all psych, always heavy.
Yep.
I love it. And I can't recommend it enough. And you know, a great way to start into Nebula is just the latest release and just take it from there. They're awesome. I really love them.
Yeah, I think you could either start at the beginning and work your way up, or start at the newest one and work your way back. Really,
all of the records are good, and there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, what are we? Almost 10, I think, 9, something like that.
Yeah, and I think they got Heavy Psych sounds like to do that Doom sessions. They're on one too. I don't remember. I know Bandzilla's on one, so they're like split EPs.
Yeah, the split EPs and compilations, and so yeah, for anybody watching, if you can always go to the Heavy Psych Sounds website, and if you wanted to get some stuff where you get like a selection of a lot of these bands, they do have those collections.
Yeah, and I think I love about Heavy Psych Sounds is just the quality that they put out. I mean, be it merch, like the designs on the merchandise, on the album covers, everything. I mean, it's a good label. It's really good. And just take a look at, I mean, we only have 10 bands here. There's a ton of them that we're not even mentioning. And dive into it. And I guarantee you'll have a great time. I mean that.
100%.
Yeah.
Said it better myself. Yeah. Just spend 10-15 minutes on their website and you'll be like, wow, look at all this stuff. I mean, it's just
for sure.
All right, my next band, another Italian band and another power trio. Gee, what a surprise. These guys only have one album, which came out in 2022. The band is called Lord Elephant. I guess. I like elephants, right? I mean, look, I saw that album cover. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna investigate this band. All instrumental, heavy psychedelic acid rock. Yeah, this is for all you Earthless fans or King Buffalo or stuff like that. Tons of spaced out fuzzy guitars. Tia Carrera is another awesome band that does this sort of thing. Again, it's just, you get heavy riffs and things, but they're more like launching pads for these just acid rock guitar solos and things. Just total jams here. The guitarist, Leandro Gaccione, has all sorts of tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he's just like, he throws down all sorts of cool things between riffs and solos and whatnot. Go check out Hunters of the Moon. Spectacular song, which is screaming lead guitar and big, tremendous riffs. Desert Collision also just crushes. This is a really good album. It's got interesting production. I mean, it just sounds like it's got this like analog-y, old school sound to it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear more from them because, like I said, this is the only album they put out so far, and the artwork is just, you get this, and it's kind of spacey looking, it's kind of doomy, but it really doesn't give you all the hints of what you're going to explore once you start listening to this. But yeah, really, really cool. Power trio, heavy psychedelic acid rock. Lord Elephant, Cosmic Awakening is the album. So yeah, check it out. Quite good.
I tell you, if this label was around when I was a kid,
forget it.
To get those records and used to like pour over the artwork and everything, I would be enthralled with that for hours. You know what I mean? The art on these records are amazing.
For sure.
My number one is an Italian power trio. Black Rainbows. Love Black Rainbows. Can't get enough. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Super Skull
has a lot of albums out. 11 full lengths, 2 EPs, a couple of singles, comp. They have a really great rhythm section. They are a 3-piece and they do get a little spacey. And the rhythm section really holds it down and allows the guitarist to just travel. You know what I mean? And it's just really great. And again, the vocals are in the back a little bit. They're kind of low and in the back, and the drums I find are more up front, which I love. I really love that. And the vocals aren't so far back that you can't hear him. But you know, the guy's not the best singer, but he's a really good singer. He's got a
Got a
great
good
sound.
voice. He's got a different style voice too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And one record, I mean, it's their first record, and I haven't heard it in a really long time, that I couldn't stop listening to, is Hawk Dope. I love that record, and I love the title track, Hawk Dope, and it's been on a loop in my brain, and I've just really been loving getting into Black Rainbows. I love how they add the keyboards a lot like Nebula. I like how that a little addition of keyboards are here and there, and it's spacey, it's metal, then it's hard rock. I mean, it's so many things. And I'm not going to say that Black Rainbows is a metal band, because I mean, that's an argument right there. It can be, it can't be, but they're definitely hard rock with a lot of psych, and they do get metal, and I love it. And the psych part to me is just what really makes this band. I mean, there's so many bands out there doing heavy fuzzy music, but the way Black Rainbows does the psych and the trippy part of it, again, very retro, but I can't really pin 70s, maybe some 60s with it just sounds so fresh to me, even though it sounds retro. I mean, it's just not dated, and I love it. I just can't recommend this and Nebula. You guys got to listen to it.
And if I'm pretty sure that the guys in Black Rainbow, or at least one of them, own Heavy Psych Sounds records.
I bet I have to. I didn't really. I read a little bit about it, but I couldn't find much on the internet about Black Rainbows. I'm the kind of person these days who just buys the records and listen to it. It used to be who produced what track, what record, what studio, blah blah blah. Now I'm just like, I just want to hear it. I don't want to study that. And I can be, that could be bad, because when we're doing a show like this, I should really look into this stuff more. But I mean, to me, Black Rainbows is the epitome of heavy psych sounds. That to me sums them up perfectly.
Yep, I would agree. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they owned the record label, so which would make sense. But yeah, I think these guys are great, and I love this new album. I think it's just tremendous.
Yeah,
tremendous. I got to get some of their back stuff, because that's the only one I have, but it's quite good. All right, my last choice for today. I saved the most notable one, or the most famous one. Well, none of these are famous actually, but this particular person is, and I actually don't own any of his solo records that are on the label, but since I've done this research and listened to a lot of his stuff, I actually ordered a bunch of them, so they're on the way. The guy is Brant Bjork, of course, right? American multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter, formerly in Caius, formerly in Fu Manchu, formerly in Che, formerly in Vistacino, and many other bands and projects. I mean, this guy is probably like the poster child of desert rock, right?
I was just going to say that.
He's the guy. I mean, he's just done it all, and he's very, very well respected. He originally known as a drummer, but plays guitar a lot now, sings, all that kind of stuff. So he's got the Brant Bjork trio, and another band called Stoner. Not surprising there.
Go figure.
Yeah. So like, his wheelhouse is desert / stoner rock. That's what he does. He's got a ton of albums, many of which have either come out on Heavy Psych Sounds or came out on other labels that the label has now reissued on Heavy Psych Sound. So if you go to their website, you'll see a ton of his stuff listed there, because they've been reissuing a lot of his back catalog. His most recent albums are Bougainvillea Suite, which came out in 2022. I have that on order. Self-titled Brant Bjork came out in 2020. Jacuzzi 2019. I have that one on order as well. And Mankind Woman came out in 2018. his music is a lot different than some of the stuff we've talked about today. It's very kind of laid back and kind of trippy, which is what desert rock is kind of all about.
Yeah.
Instead of big, huge, fuzzy riffs, they're kind of jangly, fuzzy riffs, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't get too heavy. There's usually some really kind of cool 60s psych organ and electric piano, kind of tribal
Yeah.
drumming. Some of the albums are kind of jammy, right? Long
Mhm.
tracks and lots of things going on, like that Jacuzzi album is very much like that. Some songs to check out for him, Can't Outrun the Sun. I mean, it's a hilarious title. Gorilla Funk is really wild. I like that one a lot. And a really kind of creepy psych song called Break That Spell is another really cool track. These albums just have tons of groove. He's got a really good voice that fits the music perfectly, fits the vibe of the music. And I would say if you like his work in Fu Manchu or Caius, check out the album Che, that's CHE apostrophe, from 2000 called Sounds of Liberation. That to me kind of sounds like more like a Fu Manchu album. For those who kind of like that Fu Manchu style, but otherwise, I would say check out some of the solo albums that I mentioned, which are really cool. And like I said, when I went and listened to a whole bunch of his things, I like these enough to go pick out a handful and order them. So I'm just waiting for the label to send them to me. So yeah, they're on the way. But yeah, Brant Bjork, probably like again, he's maybe one of the biggest artists or whatever that we'll talk about today or on any of these shows actually.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And isn't Nick Oliveri also on Heavy Psych Sounds?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look at the band, look at that label. It's really great. It's the best.
I will just for argument's sake, what I'm going to do is I am going to. I'm sorry, I just closed it. Close the page. I'm going to just rattle off a bunch of bands.
Do it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is how we'll go. We'll break out of this. All right, so Brant Bjork, Night Stalker, Ecstatic Vision, Planet of Zeus, Yawning Man, Gorilla, Nebula, 1782, Duel, Amsavel, The Pilgrim, Glitter Wizard, or Orion, whatever. High Reaper, Crypt Trip, really good band. Zenghis Khan, really good band. Dead Witches, The Sonic Dawn, Globia, Hot Lunch, Fatso Jedson.
Yeah.
Nick Oliveri, Mondo Generator, The Well, R.I.P. The Freaks, Monster Naught, Black Rainbows, Avon, Killer Boogie, House of Broken Promises, Holy Serpent, Dead Smoke, Ape Machine, Ape Skull, Banquet, Kashmira, Cosmic Wheels, DeVille, Dr. Cyclops, EXP, Farflung, FUZZ Popvli, whatever, Gozu, Holy Grove, Isaac, Karma to Burn, Lento, Little Villains, Monster Naught, Moss Generator. Not only do we get Mondo Generator, Moss Generator, Mother Engine, Mothership, Mr. Bison, My Home, something about elephants and large animals. I don't know what it is. My Home on Trees, Nam, Old Man Lizard, Sergeant Sunshine, love that name, Sienna Root, Stone Jesus, The Clamps, The Flying Eyes, The Golden Grass. Yes, Brooklyn, love those guys. The Lords of Altamont, for those of you who like more punk style stuff, check out Lords of Altamont. They're kind of like a biker rock 60s punk band. The Wisdom, Tons, Wedge, Turn Me On Dead Man, Throneless, Wild Eyes, White Hills, 1,000 Mods, Crowbar. Well, that's a big name.
Yeah.
Monkey 3, Samsara Blues Experiment from Germany.
That's a great band right there.
Rule. I wish they were still doing music too. And The Cosmic Dead.
Oh wow!
Those are all bands that they're currently working with or have worked with.
And Geezer.
Yeah. Why was Geezer on this list? Well, you know what? I guarantee this list probably hasn't been updated. This is because I know if you go onto their bands page, there's a lot of other bands that I didn't mention just now. So they probably.
Oh my God! Insane amount.
Yeah.
It's a quality organization. You've got my ringing endorsement.
So yeah, all sorts of cool stuff here. Like I said, showed all sorts of great stuff, and they all come in these cool little digipacks, which are really nice. And you order from them directly. You know, the CDs are very inexpensive, and shipping is good, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, go check them out. So like I mentioned at the top of the show, we'll be kind of coming back to labels again, probably in a couple months. We've got, like I said, Ripple Music and Stickman and, you know, all sorts of other labels that have really cool stuff. But what we're going to do next month, and we're going to revisit this kind of format from time to time because I think it's always fun, is we're going to come to the next episode each with 3 albums to talk about that are either old obscure favorites or some new obscure favorites that we want to turn everybody on to. And Karen and I are not going to divulge to each other which ones we're going to talk about. So could be something old, could be something new. For those of you getting married, right? Something old, not something blue though. Well, maybe, you never know, right? But yeah, so that's what we'll do. So it'll give us a month to kind of figure out which bands we're going to bring to the table, and you know, bands album, you know, mostly albums. You know, talk about a specific album from one album each from each band. So that'll be next month. So it's kind of a surprise. So think of it as kind of like fuzzy grab bag. So, and I think the reason why we're going to do this format from time to time, and Karen and I were talking before the show, so that, you know, we've got each bringing 3 picks. So one could be a doom band, one could be a psych band, one could be like a garage rock band, one could be like a kind of fuzzy punk band, one could be a fuzzy prog band. Fuzz is the common denominator. So
it's all about the fuzz.
All about the fuzz. So
all about it. Don't forget.
That's right. So for those of you who want to kind of be surprised and discover some new stuff, that's next month. But between now and then, go check out Heavy Psych Sounds. That's heavypsychsounds.com is the website. They've also got a Bandcamp page where you can go and listen to a lot of this stuff. Go check out some of the bands we recommended today. If you have any specific questions about the label or other bands on the label, because I've listened to a lot of other bands, just put some comments down there. Below us down there in the comments section, and we'll go and respond to you and hopefully help steer you to some really good bands and stuff like that. So in fact, maybe what we'll do is we'll drop the names of these bands also down in the comments section so you guys can kind of taste and whatnot. So cool. So that's a wrap. Heavy Psych Sounds, check them out, and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together
all the damn time.
Tune in next month for All About the Fuzz, all the damn time. For Karen LaPreziosa, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for spending some time with us, Fuzz Lords. We'll see you next month.
On.
And All About the Fuzz. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Take care.